Get the hell out of... Oh, you're not one of those creeps. Looking for peace and quiet? Presume those creeps down there would keep everyone else away. Folks have been doing some building at that track across the way. You could try your hand at it. Oh, I'd steer clear of the West Virginia lumber up the road. There were a bunch of ogres or whatever up there, but it sounds like someone might have given them the boot. Not sure it's an improvement. At least you could smell the ogres coming. Hey, is it good? You serious? Fine. Here! Now I actually got nothing. So you gonna leave me in peace? Watch your step.
If the Scorched or the Ferals don't get you, the Rads will. Seems like you need a little help. Here you go. Be safe.
Don't push too hard. You need something? We're friendly, within reason. I can tell you what I know. We're at odds with the Raiders. That should be obvious. Who is it? We work with the Brotherhood of Steel, and we get on well enough with the Responders. I think my views align with the Raiders are violent. The Brotherhood of Steel is the Blue Ridge Caravan Company is a bit shady, but their business, and the Responders should... Okay, ask away then. Safe travels wherever you're headed.
that's settled, did Miss Rucker have any other requests I could help with?
Well, not specifically asked, but...
Oh, go on, dear. You know I'm thrilled to help if I can.
Well, she did mention needing some help with something for the clinic.
How are we going to accommodate so many
Oh,
guests?
I see. Certainly.
And Sophie's starting her donation drive today.
The lovely Miss Wagner's charitable efforts. Yes, I hadn't forgotten.
Oh, and Esme's got something going on in the kitchen she could use a hand with.
Well, I shall certainly see what I can do about that. I'm sure I can arrange some assistance in these matters. Well, hello, darling. A pleasure to meet another guest of our fine establishment. I am Orlando, your host and management liaison. If you'll pardon me for just one moment. That will be all. Please give my regards to Ms. Rucker. If you are here for leisure, I regret to inform you that our regular resort activities are temporarily unavailable. However, if you are here for the refuge and the fine work of the lovely responders, I am delighted to welcome you on their behalf. Ah, perhaps you have not heard. The White Spring is now home to the refuge, a place of safety and care for all in need. The refuge is being run by the responders, individuals committed to the well-being of their fellows. They founded the refuge in response to new waves of refugees coming to Appalachia, people in great need of help. Food, medical care, clothing, a place to sleep. All of these are available for those who need them. Anyone in need of help, yes. You appear more well off than our usual guests, though, if I may say so. Less bedraggled than those poor souls. Armed. The refuge exists primarily to serve those who cannot help themselves. The starving, the sick, the homeless. There is a clinic, a kitchen, beds, recreational facilities, all manner of care to be found here. I'm so pleased to be able to assist in my own small way, of course. Of course, dear. The owners of the White Spring itself. The resort, hotel, golf course, all of it. Very much still alive, I assure you, though regrettably unable to oversee affairs in current circumstances. As such, now that we have new guests, they have sent me in their stead to take care of things as needed. I couldn't be more pleased to do so. A delicious opportunity to be of help and meet fascinating people such as yourself.
Oh, it's been so long since I've had food with actual flavor.
Darling, I am entirely at your disposal. No, not by any prior arrangement. Perhaps you visited us before. I must apologize for the state you found it in, if so. Regular operation of the facilities had been stopped, of course, due to a lack of guests. Only the robotic staff remained. The responders, believing it abandoned, took up residence, a completely understandable occurrence, of course. With new and worthy occupants, the management felt it wholly appropriate that it find a new purpose, and sent me. Until such time as the world needs leisure resorts again, the White Spring is happy to support the refuge. Me? Have I beguiled you already, dear? I appreciate the flattery, of course. You must allow me to retain some mystery for now, though. I wouldn't want you to lose interest. Of course, dear. What can I do for you? What a wonderful thing for you to ask, darling. I knew there was something special about you from the moment I saw you. As it happens, the responders are looking for volunteers to assist them in a particular outreach effort. Those industrious wonders have repaired a vertibird to full working order and are using it to make contact with more distant settlements. They've made allies with people in Pittsburgh. The locals call it the Pit now, who seem to be in dire need of outside assistance. If you don't mind me saying so, you look like you can handle yourself. You might be just who they're looking for. Indeed, isn't that marvelous? They salvaged it and painstakingly repaired it. It's fully functional now. I was very pleased to be able to contribute to this effort in my own small way. If you wish to see it, it resides on the roof of the refuge between flights, along with its charming pilot, Ms. Lennox. They call themselves the Union. Something of a resistance movement, I understand, against more aggressive forces. One of their representatives is currently staying with us, a Mr. Skippy Rorich. Delightful man. Judging by what I've heard, it's an accurate one, sadly. Pittsburgh was bombed quite severely during the war. The poor individuals still living there have renamed it to better reflect its dreadful circumstances. Well, they'll be better able to explain the details, but I believe they're looking for fighters, actually. Their contacts in the pit are in something of a desperate situation, it seems, against a dangerous enemy. I hate the thought of you putting yourself in such danger, but it does appear to be for a good cause.
I think I heard a protectron bark the other day.
Oh, you're terribly brave, aren't you, dear? Imagine if we all had such courage. Now, darling, before anybody bundles you off, the first thing you should do is introduce yourself to some of the responders. I just so happen to know a few in need of more local assistance, and helping them will earn you the other thing you'll need. That other thing being, of course, their trust. The vertibird does belong to them, after all.
All of those construction workers are up to. Look at what a mess they're making.
My dear, you must understand, much as I would like to, my responsibilities do not permit me to do so. I am but a humble employee of the management. The vertibird is not the property of the White Spring itself, and is thus outside my purview. I hope you will not begrudge me my loyalty. I find myself quite fond of you already. Our lovely Ms. Rucker is the closest thing to a leader the refuge has, though I believe she's less than comfortable with the title. You can find her in their headquarters, beyond the dining area. The darling chef, Miss Rousseau, needs some assistance in the kitchen, I hear. And Ms. Wagner, over in the common area, is looking for donations. I'm sure your generosity will be well rewarded. Wonderful, my dear. I'm certain you will be a tremendous help to them and the refuge. When you are finished with each of them, I recommend you speak with Mr. Skippy Rorich, the Pit Union representative. I imagine he'll want to discuss the situation in the pit with you before you embark. Do feel free to visit me at your leisure if you wish to chat. I have an office in the management wing. You can't miss it.
Ugh, I sure hope this.
Stay on your toes. The wasteland is merciless.
He is gonna love it.
My own operation would involve this much paperwork.
The Scorched?
Ah, you must be the one I've been hearing about. Paladin Layla Romani. What do you need?
Each day in service of the Brotherhood is a step forward.
I've received a report from Knight Shin detailing your assistance in his duties. He has given his approval to your consideration as an initiate. Word around the fort is that you've been working with Scribe Valdez as well. Well, between this and the report I have from Knight Shin, we can discuss you becoming a member of our order. Consider it carefully. Do you wish to join our ranks? Both have given their approval to your initiate consideration. Yes. Knight Shin said that your attitude regarding the role of the Brotherhood in relation to the civilian community was questionable. Nonetheless, he felt your intentions were honorable and suitable training would correct any deficiencies. Which means he probably thought I'd like you. That remains to be seen. In short, she thinks you are capable, helpful, and possessed of a higher-than-average technical aptitude. Useful qualities in an initiate candidate. Yes? With the recommendations of Knight Shin and Scribe Valdez, I'm willing to consider you for membership. But first, I need to see how you handle yourself without direct supervision. In order to be effective in our operations here, we need to establish positive relations with the people of Appalachia. If we make them see us as a beneficial presence in the area, it will be much easier to secure cooperation in the future. We have reports of feral ghoul attacks on traders and travelers in the southwest forest region, indicative of a nest of some kind. I want you to clear it out.
Another nuke? We arrived in Appalachia not a moment too soon.
Your reward is that I consider you worthy to join our ranks. Limited intel suggests this is a milk run, perfect for a new recruit. But you're not wrong. We don't know the level of threat. Take this as an additional precaution.
We should spend less time mourning for Defiance and more time here, where Appalachia's future will be decided.
While I'm not in the habit of explaining my priorities to would-be recruits, you may have noticed there's a lot of work to be done here. You doing it accomplishes the mission and adds another member to our ranks.
If I don't
Two
sleep
birds,
tonight, I should
one
be able to
stone.
get this list done.
We don't know. Our initial reports on the attacks came from a family of farmers, the Putnams, that we passed on the way into the region. I think their sons were rather starstruck when we showed up. I almost expected the older boy to follow us when we left. You should start your search there. They may know more. You can find them at the old Lewis and Sons farming supply. Very well. Do this, and you will be one of us, with all the rights and responsibilities of a full member of the Brotherhood of Steel. Ad Victoriam.
I am a link in the chain that binds. That is what keeps this order together.
Did Giuseppe overcharge me for that airbrush?
Hey, sport. You wouldn't happen to be handy with an electrocompression spanner, would you? Oh, what am I saying? Of course you aren't. Sorry to put you on the spot, kid. I'm here on behalf of the Union. We're looking to get our home back from a group of raiders called the Fanatics. Not at all. Ask away. And I'll tell you everything you want to know. Well, you know, we used to be a trade union before the war. But we take all kinds, so long as they share the goal of winning back our foul city and making it fair again. That mix makes us a rowdy bunch, but it's also our secret sauce. So we stay one step ahead, or even... I'm the union's inventor, quartermaster, and coordinator. I use the know-how in this dome here of mine to help the kids in the field in any way I can. The Union is our grand experiment in human decency in the pit. We fight the fanatics, the ferals, and any other awful thing that stands to hold back progress in the Steel City. And there are a lot of those. If the fanatics unite the pit, they'll start marching elsewhere. If that ain't motivation enough, well, war breeds innovation. If there's one thing we have, it's that. We can build you all manner of fighting gear. Guns, grenades, armor, you name it. It'll be yours if you give us your aid. Sure thing. Can I? Of course. Will I? Also, of course. It's hell. What else can I say? What the bombs didn't level, the fanatics finished off. The air is choked with soot, the water is undrinkable, and the rads sear your skin like the sun of the Sahara. It's horrible, but it's home. No matter how bad it is or gets, we believe we can turn it around. That's what we're fighting for. Before the war? Well, it wasn't a paradise, but still a sight to behold. The Steel City, we called it. When the war rolled around, we built weapons, munitions, vertibirds, power armor. I suppose that's what made us a target, and left us what we are now. It's hell. What else? Hey, kid, tell me what you know. Why, naturally, I would be happy to share my wisdom with you. Can I? Of course! The fanatics are a bunch of sadists, is what they are. They bill themselves as a confederation and say they take all comers for who or what they are. That's nonsense, of course. Just an empty slogan, used to sucker in more labor for the mills. All right, I'm game. Twist my arm, why don't you? Well, now that you mention it, you ever heard of a pterodactyl? Big wingspans intrigue me. We won't be... One good thing about making weapons of war for Uncle Sam is that they build those manufactories to last. The plant I worked in may as well have been a bunker, like one... When the bombs came down, enough stood standing to keep us lucky few alive. What came after? The rads, the ferals, the fanatics. That was a real test. Tired of hearing about me, eh?
The longer I'm here, the more I find myself talking to these robots.
Always a pleasure when you come to visit. How can the White Spring help you today? I'll be delighted to explain what I can. Oh, a bit of this, a bit of that, whatever they require. As you might imagine, the state of things prevents them from much travel. I go where they need me to go and see to what affairs they see fit. In this case, the White Spring itself and the refuge. Think of me as a concierge, my dear. I'm here to improve your experience in whatever way you require. My role as liaison is to facilitate the needs of the responders and our guests and speak for the interests of management. That sounds terribly formal, I know, but in practical terms, it means I do what I can to keep the White Spring livable and support the refuge. I oversee the robotic staff to attend to the former, and in the latter case, I arrange for the disbursement of resources from management. Food, medicine, materials, Management has considerable resources, which they are happy to donate.
If only Ellison would put as much work into
Now,
the
darling, you can't imagine I would tell you a thing like that. A less trusting soul might think you were pumping me for information in the hopes of planning a heist. Of course, I know that's not why you ask, but you understand why I have to be rather secretive on this subject, don't you? Let's just say management wisely invested its wealth when such things mattered, and are now well equipped to be generous. Of course, darling, whatever you like. There is very little I'm permitted to speak about, but ask away, dear. I am at your disposal. I'm afraid you may wish to ask the lovely Rucker those questions, darling, but I shall do my best. A wonderful idea, of course. It can be a beacon of hope for the unfortunates of Appalachia. And as I believe I mentioned, darling, the management are very positive on the effort and give it their full support. I am ready as ever to accommodate. Me, dear? Would you really want to dispel all the mystery? What is it you wish to know? Do I have an admirer? Flattery will get you everywhere, darling. That being said, there is little to tell, really. I am the White Spring Management's liaison to the Responders' Refuge. It's a role I quite enjoy. It pleases me when I can be of service to others. I don't mean to be coy, dear. My work is my life, as they say. It fills my time and fulfills me. There's nothing wrong with that, is there? Besides, don't you find a bit of mystery all the more compelling? If I bared my soul and told you everything, I'm sure you'd be terribly bored. If I remain an enigma, it might keep you coming back for more of these lovely chats. I can't imagine there's anything of interest to you there, dear. But you may ask.
Is a little too gushy.
Oh, here and there, darling. I've been to lots of places before the management asked me to take over here. If you want to imagine a thrilling and intriguing story about my past, don't let me stop you, please. Can't wait for my tell-all autobiography. I can't blame you. Who knows when I'll find the time to write it? How about just a little dark secret of mine to tide you over? I'm not from anywhere interesting, actually. Nothing remarkable about my origins at all. Disappointing, isn't it, dear? That's why I usually let people imagine their own version of things. Keeps them interested. Working after a fashion. You must understand, dear, the management cannot travel as freely as most people can. In their stead, I have wandered far and wide, seeing to their interests and being their eyes and ears, hands too, as necessary. It had its good moments. I enjoy meeting new people, and much of the countryside is still beautiful, despite everything. But to be honest, my darling, it was a relief to come here to do this. It's been too long since I could remain in one place for a while. Promise me you won't get bored if I become a homebody. I'm getting used to a soft bed and clean clothes. Not at all, dear. Certainly. What do you require? But of course! The White Spring is home to a number of robotic merchants in the concourse downstairs. However, if you prefer a human touch with your shopping experience, may I recommend you speak with Giuseppe, a charming man with a discerning eye. I have no doubt you shall get along famously, dear. Regrettably, the White Spring itself is not equipped to provide full medical care at this time. I do apologize, darling. And the refuge clinic is reserved for the poor indigents arriving at its doors in dire straits. If your needs are less immediate and severe, may I suggest a visit to the chemists in the downstairs concourse? Doc Stanley has a variety of medicines available appropriate for personal use. I believe the responders have commandeered the kitchens to provide for those deprived. However, the White Springs robotic waitstaff can no doubt provide you with light libations in the dining area. You may wish to head downstairs to the merchant concourse and visit Marie and Antoine to sate your hunger. Not at all, my dear. Believe me, I shall be counting the minutes, dear. Come back safely.
Combat teams are en route. Please remain indoors and await further instructions.
Who knows what strange contraptions the old mining firms built here? What can I do for you? Or did you come to lend a hand? Sure. What needs explaining? Well, first you'll have to join up. Then it depends on your aptitude. But ultimately, if you're driven and competent... We're the heart of the Brotherhood's mission, though sometimes in practice, well, let's just say I spend a lot of time calibrating things. We record things. We collect it all, compile it, and keep it safe. Our name harkens back to that ancient tradition. Sure, what do you want to talk about? Well, you aren't an initiate yet, but...
The Elders have so much to teach us. I hope I get to meet them in person.
I'd like to reverse engineer it and make more, of course. With the amount of energy it can unleash, we could power all kinds of things.
I have everything I need.
Of how far a vertibird could fly on ultrasight power. No, I don't think so. We'll have to make do with learning what we can from the project for now.
We'll make Atlas stronger than
Sure thing. What's the next topic? Lucky for you, I know all about us.
New recruits, Night Shin's training.
We're an order dedicated to the preservation of science and technology. We find and catalog knowledge from before the bombs. You could say that. You could also say we have no right to keep knowledge to ourselves. I can see the argument, but I believe in our mission. California, all the way across the continent. I've read that people used to fly that distance in a few hours, but the trek took us months.
The Elders have
Maybe
so much
eventually
to
we'll
teach
get
us.
flying again, but
I hope I'll get to
for
meet
now
them
it's
in
an arduous
person
journey.
someday.
We're here to help the people of Appalachia. We set up Fort Atlas to that end. We also want to learn the fate of the old Appalachian chapter of our order. We think the Scorched got them. The last transmissions we got weren't promising. I knew some of them, but it's better if we don't get into that now. We're an order
Everything makes sense.
Welcome back. Have you completed your assigned mission, candidate? That explains young Colin Putnam arriving at our doorstep, then. Bright kid. I can't say Shin thought much of him, but if he makes it through basic training, I think you found us another scribe. That'll make Valdez happy. I'm very pleased with your initiative. Excellent job. Not only have you achieved everything we set out for you, but you have expanded our order and helped to secure its future in Appalachia. I hereby confer on you the status of probationary initiate in the Brotherhood of Steel. I'm sorry, but we'll have to put the official initiation right on hold. Something's come up, and we need to deal with it right away. If you've got anything else you need to take care of, make it quick. Report to me again when you're ready. Hello, Initiate. Congratulations on officially joining our ranks. I apologize that we aren't able to do an official ceremony right now, but as previously stated, something more important has come up. I've been informed that there is an independent settlement that needs our help. A group of Blood Eagle raiders are extorting the villagers and taking their supplies. The village's leader, Jenny Brown, has more information. You can find her at their settlement, a camp made up of tree houses that they call the Retreat. I trust that you will represent the Brotherhood admirably on your first mission, Initiate.
Each day in service of the Brotherhood is a step forward.
Bring any... I've always got time for you, Initiate. What do you need?
Just fine. But how do I show that I'm fit to be a scribe?
About me.
Put a patrol day.
What do you want to know? I do. Scribes are critical to the Brotherhood's mission. The work that comes my way can get tedious or overwhelming, but knowing I'm helping the greater good keeps me satisfied. Most days.
The fight is just beginning. Stay disciplined.
California, though, truth be told, I've spent most of my life in one bunker or another. My parents joined the Brotherhood when I was very young, so...
The Scorched, the Raiders, the Ghouls, if anything tries to attack...
Really? How rare. You'll have to let me interview you sometime. I'd love to know more about the vaults. I have a lot to take care of while we get settled in here, but I'll get back to you on this. Don't worry. Villagers.
Well. I see the Brotherhood has finally sent one of their pawns to retrieve my weapons. Because you've impressed me by taking out my crew, I'll allow you to say a few last words. Choose them carefully, kid.
Nothing in this wasteland can bring down Dagger's crew.
Oh, shit. You mean you didn't know about the weapons? The crate they came in may have had a Brotherhood of Steel insignia on them. But they're ours now. Don't even think about walking into my place and making demands, either. I won't let you take these weapons from us. My gang and I came across a small group of raiders, and I couldn't help but notice these beauties sitting around. Let's just say negotiations didn't go over well. And now we're the owners. Who knows how that group got them from the Brotherhood? And really, who cares? Like I said, these weapons don't belong to the Brotherhood anymore. And you can tell those villagers they'll be punished for crying to the Brotherhood of Steel. I already have a mutually beneficial arrangement with the Retreat. What do you have to offer me for these weapons and supplies? What? No. No thanks. I don't want... If you happen to leave the Brotherhood of Steel, though.
Imagine living in a kid's treehouse.
Kill or be killed. Exploit or be exploited.
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
I have news from our patrol.
They must have seen something quite interesting for you to come to me about it.
Interesting is not the word. Concerning, yes.
One moment, Initiate. Knight Shin is in the middle of his report.
The Elders have so much to teach us. I hope I'll get to meet them in person someday.
This had better be important. If you're not sure what to do, then stay at your post and await orders. There's a lot going on around here right now. I've got enough to deal with without him. Does this look like a social club to you?
The Elders have so much to teach us. I hope I'll get to meet them in person someday.
Distraction is human. Discipline is the learned solution. Ad Victorium.
Wait to tell Max about my latest patrol. He is gonna love it.
Go on, Shin.
As I was saying, one of our patrols came across a raider storeroom. They were chased out, but not before sighting several crates with the Brotherhood insignia on them.
Those crates are for important assets. We haven't used them since...
Since that battle, let's not waste time with details. Considering the contents, it's imperative that we recover those crates from the raiders.
We have yet to establish a relationship with the people of Crater. It's possible that they are more agreeable than the other raiders we've encountered.
Are you seriously considering the idea of leaving those items in raider hands?
Let's discuss this later. We've kept the Initiate waiting long enough.
I can do more than
Were you able to help the people of the retreat? Very unfortunate that things had to end that way, but at least the villagers are safe now.
Them, and likely many others. The world is better off with fewer Blood Eagles.
I hope my next mission
Don't speak so frivolously of human life, Knight. Is there anything else to report?
The settlers want to rebuild, but they're only looking to the future.
The Blood Eagles, too.
We need to understand the past.
Did these crates have our insignia on them?
If our weapons have spread among multiple groups, that's a serious problem. The Initiate made the right choice in bringing them back to us.
I hope the villagers have other means of defending themselves.
If we address the threat at its origin, there would be no need for them to defend themselves, which is exactly why we can't leave those weapons in raider hands.
I swear Knight Shin has it out for me.
The Brotherhood saved Shin's hometown from a raider attack. It was then that Knight Connors recruited him into the fold. There have been other incidents since then, but...
This is irrelevant to the mission.
Perhaps you can ask him about it another time.
I'd prefer that you didn't.
We obtained them during our journey to Appalachia. Unexpected circumstances removed them from our possession.
That's all the Initiate needs to know.
I am the one answering questions here, Knight. Good work, Initiate. You're dismissed.
You're here. Good. To review the current situation, one of our patrols located a cache of dangerous weapons in a raider storeroom. Stolen Brotherhood weapons, no less. Your assignment is to secure the storeroom for the Brotherhood, and the weapons along with it. I'll put together a squad and meet you there. But given the situation, it's imperative you arrive there as soon as possible. Any questions, Initiate?
I hope my next mission is soon. I'm tired of being stuck in Fort Atlas.
Paladin Ramani forbids engagement without warning. So, we will attempt to speak to them when we arrive. That being said, the raiders have already made it clear they're determined to be our enemies, stealing supplies, ambushing patrols, using Brotherhood weapons to terrorize the region. If they are unwilling to cooperate, we will put our foot down. So be prepared for combat. One last thing. We need to confirm the weapon's source. I find it unlikely the raiders will be willing to talk until after we send them a very clear message. If any of them are still alive after that, we can question them. That will be all. Dismissed.
We'll build something better for everyone. Do you have any... If you have any additional questions about your duties... My mission in life is to help others and restore order to the world. The Brotherhood of Steel is aligned with those goals. First and foremost, in addition, we are currently investigating what happened to the previous Brotherhood members from Fort Defiance. It is important that we establish a new foothold here, which will allow us to aid the people of Appalachia. Yes, there was a unit here led by Paladin Taggarty. We lost contact with the group shortly before their mission to attack the Scorched, and we are unsure of their fate. Regardless of what may have occurred, their selfless courage is commendable. As you know, the ultrasight battery discovered underneath Atlas is a promising development. Anything else that the Brotherhood could use to expand our capabilities would be of merit to our mission. I'd love to answer any questions that you may have. Sure. What would you like to talk about? Social conversations with a superior officer are not appropriate, soldier. I won't tell if you won't.
If anything tries to attack, we'll be ready.
I'm originally from the California branch of the Brotherhood of Steel. I was posted near Mariposa before the bombs fell, and I learned that some members of the U.S. military had created an organization to help people. As a member of the U.S. military, joining up with the Brotherhood was a natural transition for me.
Throwing nukes left and right. Do the people of Appalachia think a bomb is a plaything?
Elder Roger Maxson is our leader back in California, and is the person who sent us on our mission to Appalachia. I was in the National Guard. Helping those who are less fortunate has always been a passion of mine. Being able to help protect my community was an experience I'll never forget. But now, my mission is to protect you and the other people of Appalachia.
If I don't sleep tonight, I should be able to get this list done.
My mission in life is to help the Brotherhood of the resource.
World science solved a lot of problems.
Sounds good to me.
But look what else arrived. I'm glad we guard our tech closely.
Certainly. Tell me which one you'd like to discuss.
Another nuke? We arrived in Appalachia not a moment too soon.
There have been no more threats from Blood Eagles. Even so, the nearby swamp creatures give the villagers trouble from time to time. They don't have much in the way of self-defense. As such, we must strive to expand the Brotherhood's reach across Appalachia and make it a safe home for settlements such as theirs. George Putnam came by with a basket of homegrown potatoes as a token of his family's appreciation.
No meat.
He reminded me his sons were interested in joining our ranks.
With every dinner
Maybe one day we can send someone to see if they're Brotherhood material.
Request doesn't even have a name on it.
Your service to the Brotherhood so far is appreciated, Initiate. I'd like to see more of it.
Cleaning duty again? I swear Night Shin has it out.
Stay safe.